Hi everyone, it's Michelle and welcome back to another video. I did it again. I've been collecting a couple of different orders that went through, and I think the universe is, or at least the online shopping is sort of against me at the moment, because Reader's Warehouse had a sale, Take A Lot had a sale, and I have a book haul to show you guys today. So it's a little bit of an insane one, at least, I don't know, it feels sort of big-ish. You guys would have seen my thumbnail, and I'm gonna go through it with you now. So first off, I absolutely, like, if you watched if you've seen any of my other videos, I absolutely loved Sarah J Maas's, Court of Thorns and Roses, and all the other books that kind of followed. And especially when you kind of get to, as you read her, getting tongue-tied here, as you carry on going through her stuff, like I love the manner in which she writes. And I know her other big series, I've got Crescent City, but one of her other big series that she's got is Throne of Glass series. And I don't know a ton about it, but I am so intrigued by it, and it was on special and on sale and whatever at Reader's Warehouse, so I got the first couple of books. I got The Assassin's Blade, which, as far as I know, is a bunch of like prequels to some of the different assassins in the series, from what I understand. Apparently it is amazing and a must read before the series, so of course I got this one. And I love the back, like these little paperbacks. I wasn't sure I like bigger books as like a standard, but I love the back of these, and I wasn't sure if the other ones look the same, but yeah, oh gosh, like, so Throne of Glass, the book, the imagery behind it, like her dress and stuff, just is absolutely gorgeous. Crown of Midnight, I don't know, like, they're really pretty, but the backs really got me. And then of course Air of Fire, and talk about being weird, I got the last one, Kingdom of Ash. So I'm missing a few in between there. They were out of stock of those ones, but I figured I'd grab the special while I could, especially since I'm reading quite so much. And I just love the spines on these. Like, don't you guys think these will look absolutely gorgeous on my shelves? So yeah, super cool, super cool. So I don't know a lot about Throne of Glass, but what I do know about it is, it's a lot of fighting, tournaments, things like that. So it's super intriguing. I love the way she writes her other stuff, and you know what, if these are anything like the other series that I read, I am absolutely certain I'm gonna love it. So another couple of books that I got, I felt, I really love my historical fiction, and especially when it comes to like World War, stories that relate around like either World War I or World War II. I just think that like the emotions and the stuff that kind of happened around there is just absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. So one of the ones I've been dying to pick up, and I did manage to finally pick it up, is Kristin Hennes, The Nightingale. And this is a very heartwarming story about two sisters. One sister lives in Paris, the other one lives French countryside. And it's World War I. Yeah. And the sister that lives in the countryside, her husband gets pulled into the war, and she's got a child, and the girl's father sends the daughter that's in Paris to the countryside to help her other sister. And all these things happen, and they've obviously got to go through this turmoil and emotional turmoil and everything that kind of goes on. Life changes, and it says, as the war develops, the strength of the sisters' relationship is put to the test. I just think that is going to be an absolutely phenomenal tale. I love, familial relationships that are tested, especially in World War, and the estrangement. Speaking of estrangement comes my next World War book, and this. I don't know, I didn't actually do much research onto this, because I read the back and I was like, wow, this is super intriguing, sort of like down my alley. So this girl, Margaret. So Margaret she's obviously gone through the war. The war is finished. She's been estranged from her husband because of the war for the last 2 years. And she comes to Australia to start a new life with her husband. And as she docks, she finds out, hang on, her husband, turns out, has got another wife. And she's got to restart her entire life. So she from what I understand, she kind of sets up, she gets a new job, she meets a new guy, becomes friends with him, something develops out of that friendship, and then boom, like here comes the shell shocker. Turns out her husband might not actually have forgotten about her. So now she's got to face the test and kind of decide, which life does she honor? The life she had before, or the life she's now developed for herself? And I think that is just, I love books that question morals and question important things like that. So this seems super intriguing. It is The War Bride by Pamela Hart, and I'm quite excited to be reading this one. Another series that I had kind of caught my eye and I was super intrigued about was Laura Sebastian's The Ash Princess Trilogy. And you have, so she's got two different, oh gosh, if you've seen any of my videos, I've got such a thing for beautiful covers. And there were two different types of covers. There's one with like white on it. These ones, like I had to hunt a little bit to find these ones, but I absolutely love these covers. So the books are Ash Princess, Ember Queen, and Lady Smoke. Like I just absolutely love this cover. I don't know why. It's just like got this emberish, like, you know, you can kind of picture, looking at it close, I don't suppose it actually looks like that, but you know, Ash Princess, of course it would, but it looks like the embers out of a fire, you know, left burning. From what I know of this series, this young girl she witnesses her mom, the queen, get murdered. And her whole country gets taken over by a new ruler, and she ends up being made their slave. And for something like 10 years, 10 years, Thea's been captive in her own palace. She's watched this new ruler destroy her country, or rule her country quite cruelly, from what I remember. And just, yeah, like destroy her mom's legacy in some senses, from what I kind of remember of this. And he forces her to do something completely unthinkable, and she kind of feels as though there's no hope. But she realizes she's not completely on her own. She does have her own weapons. She is, you know, who she was born to be. She does have retribution and, you know, options about her. So it says here, for 10 years, Ash Princess has seen her land pillaged and her people enslaved, and that all ends here, because power is not always won on the battlefield. So I think she is an orphan, she is a rebel. Like, I'm super intrigued about this. I can't wait to read it. I love those stories where like someone comes out of the ashes and turns into, you know, kind of grows into themselves, kind of like the Remnant Chronicles. I eat that stuff up. It's like, it's one of my favorite tropes. So I also saw some really cute stuff about this one. This I picked up because of Haley in Bookland. At some point she picked it up. I know she didn't find it like super awesome, but I'm still intrigued to read it. I think it's going to be cute. It is called Tweet Cute by Emma Lord. And this is two young people. So it's well, most of these are YA, but anyway. Two young people, their families have got conflicting restaurants, and they end up having this full-on war over Twitter. So it's tweet cute, and then they kind of fall in love themselves, and they don't realize that they're fighting on Twitter as well, you know, that it's them that are fighting on Twitter. It's quite cute. Yeah, we'll have to kind of see where this goes, but I'm quite intrigued. When I want something like light and fluffy, then this one's definitely going to come out. So diving into a couple more books, I just want to get one or two out of the way, and these are box collections that I just decided to get so that I could read the full series as it went. One of them is the Selection series by Kira Cass. Here we have a girl, America singer, there you go, America, not American, America singer, and she is chosen to be one of the 35 contestants in this like reality TV show. It's sort of like a royal version of The Bachelor. So these 35 girls have an opportunity to win the prince's hearts. From what I remember, it seems as though she's actually in love with someone else when she walks into this whole thing. So she's kind of got to decide where she's going to go and whether she's actually going to do this properly or not, from what I understand. But I would imagine this is going to be rather interesting, with a lot of like internal girl fighting and stuff like that. So, and maybe some scheming and some fun bits and pieces like that. So I'm quite intrigued to read this. I've heard really good things about this. Another one that I've heard, well, another writer that I've heard, author that I've heard phenomenal things about is Brandon Sanderson. So of course I had to get the Mistborn trilogy and start somewhere, reading all his things. This is, I don't know a lot about this. I just know that it sounds phenomenal and that it's got amazing reviews. The side here, just something for you guys. It says, for 1,000 years the ash fell, the mists rule the night. The Lord Ruler owns the world, yet somehow hope survives. I know this is kind of like a story about, if I remember correctly, there is our protagonist is kind of, you know, one of the downtrodden in this land, and something happens that I think she gets special powers, or he, you know what, I'm not even going to speculate. I researched this and just found out about it and read a bit about what the books are about ages ago, like last year sometime, and I just remember it stuck in my head. It was one that I wanted. It came on special, so it's now here ready for me to read when I'm kind of done reading a few other series, because I am kind of twisted into a few different series at the moment. Yeah, anyway, another one that I got that the sequel is coming out later this year is Kingdom of the Wicked. I'm actually reading this at the moment, and so far I think I'm like, I had to pick this up, like 50 pages and not very far. It sounds quite interesting so far. So basically we have these twin girls. We have I want to say Victoria and Amelia, and they are twin sisters and they are witches, and they have to kind of hide because, like in any time, witches are feared and they try to kill them, and something happens that Amelia discovers her sister Victoria brutally murdered, her body is mutilated, and she wants to find whoever killed her sister, take revenge. Somewhere along the way, she ends up kind of making a deal, I think, with one of the princes of hell. There are 7 of them, which is, you know, the 7 like bad sins: greed, gluttony, lust. Gosh, I can't remember them all. And there's a beautiful map at the front, which has all of them listed. Envy. Can't remember them all. Wrath. There you go. And sloth. Pride. I think I got all of them. Anyway, from what I understand, she makes a deal with one of them. It's quite lusty. It's all, you know, geared around revenge, getting back, you know, whoever killed her sister. So yeah, that's definitely a trope that's sort of revenge with a bit of romance on the way. That's like a trope that I love. So this sounds awesome to me. I am super excited to carry on reading that. Talking about revenge, we also have another one that's a sequel. It's actually on its way. I don't want to read this until I have the sequel. But this is Bone Cry's Moon by Catherine Purdy. And we have our main character who is she's been brought up to become the matriarch of the Bone Criers. And in order to kind of fulfill this, she has to go along this ritual or preparation. And typically what a girl preparing to become a Bone Crier does is she has to kill the man that she's going to, she's destined to love. So she has this guy, I can't remember his name, but anyway, she's supposed to kill him. Something happens, I don't know exactly what, but she gets kidnapped, her best friend gets involved, tries to save the whole situation. But there's an interesting side on his side too. You see, his dad was killed by a Bone Crier. So for him, he hates Bone Criers, and he wants to get revenge for what happened to his father. So, definitely like an enemies to lovers. I love enemies to lovers, but especially when they don't specifically hate that person for who they are. Well, obviously, but they wouldn't really be able to change it around if it was. But I love it when they sort of like hate that person because of the family they came from, or the legacy that they're part of, or whatever it might be. And yeah, enemies to lovers is one of my favorite tropes. So this one, super excited about. Another one that I had to get was The Electric Kingdom. So when this came out, I saw kind of, when did it come out? I'm actually trying to think here. I wonder. Anyway, it's fairly recent, I think. Yeah, copyright's 2021. So yeah, this is quite recent. And the story here, it's an apocalyptic story. about a young girl with a dog who, you know, this deadly virus has come. It's killed like tons and tons of people. She gets set, her father sets her on this journey to go and find a portal. It sounds super intriguing. She meets people along the way, and obviously they've got to forge a new way of life in amongst this apocalyptic world where everything is just disastrous, and you know, the flies carry this deadly disease and everything, and that just sounds super fun, especially with the way the world's going at the moment. We just need a portal somewhere. I wonder where we'd end up going to. Doesn't that sound fun? Anyway, I'm on to the last book I want to chat to you guys about. I do not know this author. I have seen no mention of him. Maybe I just haven't looked hard enough. But I read the synopsis of this book, and it just drew me in completely. Again, enemies to lovers, you know, it's just totally my thing. But this story, gosh, this book was on sale and it stuck with me, and I'm going to quickly read you guys the back so that you have an idea of what I'm on about. So, a shadow has fallen over the Bertresian Republic. As Tresia falls, you know, there's war going on, heroes rise. You have Victor, who is the Republic's champion, a warrior without equal. He hides a secret that could see him burned as a heretic. Jasiri is his sworn enemy, and he is a political prisoner who dreams of reigniting his mother's failed rebellion. And yet Kayleen, Jasiri's sister, seeks only to break free of their tarnished legacy, to escape the expectation and prejudice that haunts their family name. So, as war spreads across the Republic, these three must set aside their differences in order to save their homeland. And however, decades of bad blood are not easily forgotten. Victory will demand a darker price than any of them could have imagined. So, three strangers pulled together, like they've all got their own stories, and here, you know, they've got to save the empire. And that just sounds super intriguing. I was not expecting a nice little hefty book here, but really excited to read that one. If I remember correctly, the sequel's also coming out later this year, so that's definitely one I'm excited about. And I am done with my magnanimous, huge, it feels huge. I have a lot of books to read now. I'm waiting for the last kind of couple to come in. I have kind of sworn myself to only buying sequels for the next while until I've caught up with this chaos. We'll see. We'll have to see how long that lasts. Maybe something super intriguing will come and then I'll be stuck. Anyway, I am damned to all hell with all of my books, or damned to a lot of couch hours with a lot of fun worlds. I just love diving into some of these worlds. It's just, oh gosh, it's phenomenal. Anyway, guys, I will see you next time. That's it from me for now, and I'll chat to you soon. Bye.